Hey friends, let's address some of the complaints about the Conservation Reserve Program as I commonly hear them as I work in the business of agriculture. First, a little history. The Conservation Reserve Program was signed into law in 1985 and acres began enrolling in 1986. The idea was to address the vast surplus and therefore low commodity prices that we had in crops clear back in the 80s, much like we have right now. Also, with a conservation connotation, it was politically palatable. About 26 million acres of America's farmland are currently enrolled where you put in things like prairie grass or trees or native vegetation in highly erodible lands. Rocky, hilly, curvy ground next to water got enrolled. Again, enhancing conservation and reducing supply. That was the concept. So I hear the complaints. The number one complaint I hear is, you know what? When we take acres out of production in the United States, other countries just ramp up their production. That's true, but it's not because of CRP. It's been going on since 1980. The grain embargo Jimmy Carter imposed upon Russia to punish them by not selling them grain meant that other countries ramped up their production, and we are off to the surplus that we've had created since about 1980. Number two complaint that I hear, well, taking American acres out of production could increase food insecurity here in the United States. That would be an issue if we didn't have vast surpluses and vast productive capacity. But about 7% of our cropland acres, 26 million acres, are in CRP of a 400 million acre base. Not really a big concern. More importantly, acres like this prairie grass right here could be burned, sprayed, and converted to cropland if we truly had a food insecure issue. Number three complaint I hear, Conservation Reserve takes lesser farm ground, marginal land, out of production, and that means young people don't have a chance to get into farming. Well, wait a minute. As an industry, we complain incessantly that young people struggle to get into this business of farming, and your answer is to give them this crappy, erodible, curvy 3-acre patches next to a woods near a river, and that's how they're going to get started farming? Then you wonder why they can't make a living and decide to go get a job in town? I'm not sure I'm buying that argument. The number four argument I hear, cash rent prices are boosted because of Conservation Reserve payments that set a price floor. There could be some truth to that. A distortion of economics, especially if you're in an area that has a tremendous amount of acreage devoted to Conservation Reserve Program. However, what has really given rise to cash rent prices is an ag economy that was really, really strong between the early 2000s and 2024. Also, the fact that land values went up by about quadruple during that time frame. If you own the asset, you want to charge a compensatory amount of cash rent. Farmers wanting prime farm ground boosted the cash rent of prime farm ground, not CRP. I'm Damian. I speak on stages throughout North America about the world's most important industry, the business of agriculture. I also do so right here online. Thank you for tuning in.